Back in 1977, we launched these two little spacecraft. And okay, on paper, it was all about science, right? Exploring planets. But it turned into something so much more. This isn't really a story about machines. It's about us. It's about the most incredible, maybe the most audacious message we've ever sent out into the universe. A letter, really. A letter to eternity. So, let's get into it. And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Voyager has acquired an existence of its own, a destiny beyond the grasp of its handlers. I mean, think about that. We built them, sure. Voyager 1 and 2, they were ours. But now, they're out there, billions of miles away, just sailing through the darkness. They're not just our machines anymore. They're these lonely wanderers on a journey that we can't control. Not anymore. So to really get a handle on that incredible destiny, we gotta rewind. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Because this whole mission, it happened because of this, well, almost miraculous window of opportunity. A kind of cosmic alignment that was so rare, they called it the Grand Tour. 175 years. That's how often the big guys out there, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, all line up just perfectly. It's the perfect setup to use their gravity like a cosmic slingshot, flinging a spacecraft from one planet to the next. It was literally a now or never kind of deal, a once-in-a-lifetime shot, and thankfully, NASA went for it. And what a trip it was. Seriously, the Voyagers completely changed everything we thought we knew. They found active, spewing volcanoes on one of Jupiter's moons, Io. They dove into the ridiculously complex rings of Saturn. And for the very first time, we got these stunning, up-close looks at those mysterious ice giants, Uranus and Neptune. It was incredible. But for Voyager 1, this whole tour, well, it was really just the warm-up act. So after Voyager 1 had this amazing rendezvous with Saturn, NASA had to make a huge call, a real fork in the road. They chose to send it on a close flyby of Saturn's moon, Titan, and that single move changed everything. It used Saturn's massive gravity to just fling it right up and out of the flat plane where all the planets orbit, and onto a new path, a path heading straight out into the great unknown between the stars. The planetary mission was done. This was it, a one-way ticket to the cosmos. Okay, so fast forward a few decades. The Voyagers are still out there, still flying, but our link to them, wow, it's stretched so thin across this unbelievable emptiness. It's really just a handful of dedicated people, just listening for the faintest whispers from deep space. Get your head around this, 45 hours. That's how long it takes for us to send a message to Voyager 1 and get a reply back. And that message is traveling at the speed of light. That's almost 2 whole days, just to say hello and hear back, I got it. You can't have a conversation like that. It's not a conversation at all. It's like shouting into a canyon and waiting 2 days for the echo. And the tech they're running on? It's basically ancient history. We're talking 1970s stuff. Look at this. Its entire computer memory, about 69 kilobytes, is way, way less than what a single photo on your phone takes up today. The fact that these things are still working, that we can still talk to them, is nothing short of an engineering miracle. And this quote from one of the mission engineers, it just says it all. They're consulting 50-year-old circuit diagrams and trying to reverse engineer subsystems designed by ghosts. I mean, can you imagine? When something goes wrong, there's no reboot button. They have to pull out these dusty 50-year-old schematics and try to get inside the heads of the engineers who built it. Engineers who are, in many cases, long gone. They're literally trying to understand designs made by ghosts. And, the clock is ticking. The plutonium that's been powering these probes for decades is running down. It's just simple physics. It's decaying. And to save every last drop of juice, NASA's had to make some really tough calls. They're shutting down instruments one by one. The heaters, the scientific sensors, and the hardest one of all, the cameras. It's heartbreaking, really. It's like our little messenger is slowly going blind and deaf. Its senses just fading away as it floats deeper and deeper into that endless night. But before its senses went dark for good, Voyager was given one last, incredibly important job. It was asked to become a courier, to carry a message. And this right here, is maybe the most beautiful and hopeful part of the entire story. It became our message in a bottle, thrown into the biggest ocean you can imagine. Which brings up a pretty massive question, right? How do you say hello for 1 billion years? Seriously, think about it. If you had to pick one thing to send, what would it be? That was the challenge for the team led by the amazing Carl Sagan. How on earth do you boil down all of humanity, our music, our science, our joy, our noise, our entire existence, for someone you'll never meet who might not even understand what they found? Well, this was their answer, the golden record. And it's not a USB drive or some digital file. Nope, it's a gold-plated phonograph record. Talk about old school, right? But it was designed that way for a reason, to last, to survive for eons. It's not just data, it's a piece of art, a scientific artifact, and maybe the most profound statement of hope we've ever made.
So what's on this cosmic calling card? Well, it's a little bit of everything. You've got greetings in 55 different languages. You've got the sounds of our planet, things like wind and rain and whales singing. There's 90 minutes of music, everything from Bach to Chuck Berry. And then there are 115 pictures of our life, our science, and even a little map to show any finder where we came from. It's our attempt to say, this is who we were.
So remember how I said they had to turn the cameras off? Well, right before they did, Carl Sagan had one last idea. It was a long shot, but he made a request that would end up giving us one of the most powerful, most humbling pictures ever taken in human history. He asked them to do something that sounded simple but was actually really tricky. He said, turn the camera around. I want one last picture of home. It was a huge risk. Pointing the camera back toward the sun could have fried the lens, for good. But they did it. For one last time, Voyager looked back at where it came from. And from 6 billion kilometers away, this is what it saw. Just look at that tiny little speck of light caught in a ray of sunlight. That's not a star, that's here, that's home, that's us. And Carl Sagan's words about this photo, they just cut right to the heart of it. Consider again that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. To preserve and cherish that pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. Wow. I mean, everything that has ever happened in human history, every person you've ever known, every war, every piece of art, it all happened right there on that little mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. If that's not a lesson in humility, I don't know what is.
So the cameras are off now. The grand tour is a distant memory. Both Voyager 1 and 2 have left our solar system behind. They've crossed that invisible boundary where the sun's influence ends, and they're just sailing, silently, through the vast emptiness between the stars. They've become our silent immortals. And their journey is really just beginning. Look at these timescales. In about 40,000 years, they'll drift past a nearby star. In almost 300,000 years, they'll pass Sirius. They're going to keep going, orbiting the center of our galaxy for billions of years. Billions! They will almost certainly outlast everything we've ever built. They might even outlast us. They are the longest-lasting things humanity has ever made. So, as they sail on in total silence, what story will they end up telling about us? Because they're not just hunks of metal anymore, are they? They're our ambassadors. They carry the memory of the world that made them. A world with so much music and science, but also so much conflict. A complicated, beautiful, messy world that for a brief moment dared to reach out into that massive, silent darkness, just to whisper, "We were here."